Hello, John. This is Heather Newton reviewing your entry for the Social Deduction Contest Deep Cover. Let's start out talking about your header image and logo. I like that you made a neat logo and you're consistent with putting that as the overlay. Actually, it is repeated here and here, but because it's a different color, it's a little subdued and kind of off-kilter. It's not super distracting to have that logo show up twice in your above the fold section. I like that you have a tagline that's being shown in your hero image, and it just it looks dark and gritty, like I believe you say in your rules, so it sets the stage pretty well and makes me curious, I would say, to see what the game is about, stating that it's a hidden identity game right up front before I start scrolling down. And I can see you have it for sale on the Game Crafter, and the price point is good and affordable for a simple social deduction sort of party game type thing. Good job keeping the components simple and figuring out packaging that's affordable and everything like that. Then your cool factors here do a good job of outlining what is specifically unique about your game. The 2 secret roles, 1 on each team, really gets to the heart, I think, of what I find most interesting about this game and why it ultimately became a finalist. It was one of them that I was debating between this one and a couple of others that I had to kind of try to separate which one rose to the top. And though all of the games had their different issues in different places, which made it kind of hard to differentiate which one should be the one that made it to the finals. Ultimately, this one I chose because of this concept being so interesting and really wanting to see how it might play out. The idea of 2 hidden roles on opposite teams. I don't think I've ever seen that, and I find that intriguing and want to see how it works. So then we'll look at your description here. I think you've done a good job of breaking things out into mostly pretty small paragraphs and using white space, and having some theming to set the stage and draw me into the game that I'll be playing. This statement at the bottom, I do just want to call out that it's kind of an odd choice. It seems like you are almost apologizing for your art before. The tone of this comes across as sort of like apologetic and defensive, maybe a little bit for some reason. And I don't even think that your art is the worst art, in the whole contest or in contests that I've seen. It looks fairly finished. I mean, an effort was made for it. So I would say, from my perspective as the judge, I'm trying to judge as much as possible on game design because it's a game design challenge, not an art challenge. But there is I'm about to say an art to using art, right? That seems kind of repetitive, but there's a way to use art to draw people in, and I would say your hero image is an example of that. This isn't super complicated art, but you went ahead and you filled out the space with something thematic and evocative, and I wouldn't have even looked at this and said, oh, boo, not good enough, So it was a little, it gave me pause, I guess, when I read this. Thought, why are you drawing attention to that? I would say just make art that fits in, that helps the game look like a finished product, even if it's not the best art ever. It just draws more attention to that as a weakness, potential weakness, than I even would have paid attention to. So just something to think about. And I mean, actually, here, look at this. You even you have an art test accolade, so you don't have bad art. Anyway, and I mean, maybe that's not what you're trying to say. You're saying I purposely kept it generic, or something like that. But you're saying mechanics and gameplay are more important, and sure, yeah. I mean, I don't need this on a page that's teaching or that's telling me why I should buy or play the game. I just want it all to be positive. Like, what is so great about this game? You know, I want to spend my time on that and visualizing how much fun it's going to be to play the game. And I would say, yeah, you know, this is very finished. I would say this card here, the back of this card where it's just white and black, I mean, that could probably use an image. And you have some just things like this that are just icons, basically, that you probably got from a free icon site. But they get the job done, and that's all I really would expect at this point for a contest entry. Maybe if you were going to do a Kickstarter or something, if you wanted to publish it yourself and you were doing the Kickstarter, then you probably should bump up the art. But as it is right now, it's doing what it needs to do. Let's look at the packaging here. And yeah, that looks great. You have the icons that you need to have there at the bottom. It's, of course, this is a really tiny look at the box, but as this was chosen for a finalist, I will eventually see it in my hands. It'll be sent to me soon, so we'll see what it looks like in person. But you even have a bit of a diagram on the back showing the cards that are involved, or showing that it is just a card game. Those are the only pieces necessary, which I always like games with simple components. I don't think that's a drawback at all. And then more specifically, too, about your action shots, I like that you have pictures of the game being set up. Oh, it looks like you have maybe two pictures in the same picture. Okay. No, it's not exactly the same. It's very similar, though. I'm not sure what value, like, these two pictures, why they're both here. But anyway. But yeah, the cards laid out, the game being played, and especially also this image is great. It just kind of shows me the layout, a picture of the packaging. That's great. Actually, I think it looks like you've updated it since then, because I saw, oh, maybe the symbols are on the very bottom, actually. But anyway, good job on using the action shots correctly and putting things in here that I can see at a glance, since we're in a image carousel. And yeah, I was just going to say this is a good sort of marketing image, even though it's not, even if you didn't have pictures of the actual game, this is a good quick glance sort of contents of the box and drawing me into, like, giving me some hints at what it's probably going to be like to play, what my hand's going to look like and everything. So now let's go over and look at the rules. And these are, although they're not like really heavy in art, you put some effort into choosing a font that was thematic and making showing pictures of what the cards look like to help people identify the parts quickly as they open up the box, and having diagrams for all of this stuff is really helpful. And we even have some of those pictures again of how the setup works inside the rules. From reading these rules, I'm really curious to see how the game plays out. It's unclear to me by reading the rules, like, what my strategy would be if I was the betrayer, how I would be able to get my goals without being arrested or killed. You have some checks and balances set up in there where if you're really blatant about it, you know, the opposite team can win by eliminating you, arresting, or killing you, depending on the team that you're on. But it's also really bad for them if they do it to the wrong person. So they're not going to be doing it willy-nilly either. And as I picture myself playing this, and we'll see what it's like in real life, but I think I would be really hesitant to actually vote against somebody unless they really were obvious about it. But I also think that maybe that's what you're going for. I guess I just kind of do have some questions on, is what you're hoping happens that people win by victory points, or is what you're hoping happens for people to be outed with an exciting finale and a lot of that, oh, I knew it was you kind of excitement. Which those sort of moments are some of my favorite things about social deduction games and what I think makes them memorable and why I'm studying them for my own projects and everything. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just want to see something like instructions for revealing at the end. So there's always a climatic reveal, even if you win through victory points, for example. Maybe that's something, but we'll have to see how it goes when we actually play it. But anyway, in summary, again, this is a finalist for the Social Deduction Challenge, and I congratulate you for getting your project all finished, entered into the semifinals and finals, and having a finished shop page with something for sale up on the Game Crafter. Hey there, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description for more information and links to helpful resources. Some links will give me a commission if you choose to buy, and I sure do appreciate the support. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.